Hi friends, today's activity is our habitat sheet. I kind of blew up the habitat sheet in the remote learning plan and made it simple. So this is the exact same sheet that you can do with your parents. Okay, so first of all, you're going to pick out your favorite amphibian. Mine is a frog. Not a salamander, not a newt, not a Sicilian. I like frogs. Go figure that one out, right? So now, since I picked out my animal, I'm going to say, what does my animal look like? My animal has. Now, my favorite part of a frog is the sticky tongue. The sticky tongue that reaches out and snatches in flies, arachnids, or that's another word, fancy word for spiders. So I'm going to put my animal has a sticky tongue. So I'm going to put my animal has a sticky tongue. Now you're saying, Dr. Coleman, I can't write all that. Just tell your parent or older brother or sister what you want to write, and they can write the words for you. Right? Just say whatever animal you choose. You can choose whatever amphibian you want. You can choose a salamander. You don't have a Sicilian. You don't have to choose a frog, but I like frogs. That's why I chose a frog. Now, the next one part of the assignment is what habitat do they live in? Do they live in a desert, freshwater wetland, or grassland? Now we know they can't live in a desert because amphibians need water. Desert has no water. They can't live in a grassland because grasslands do have water but very little water. So wetland. So that's the one you circle. Right? Your amphibian lives in a freshwater wetland. Now, down here, draw your animal in its habitat. So I'm going to draw a frog in their habitat. Now, I'm going to try. Don't laugh, okay? So I'm going to draw a frog. Don't laugh at my frog, friends. Hold on. I'm drawing a frog. Pretty good so far, right? Well, I think it's pretty good. Hold on. Frog. Okay, next is this is the hard part, I guess the other part of the leg. Okay, so hold on. I gotta get a little closer so I can color it in. Okay, hold on. Now you're saying, Dr. Coleman, I can't draw like this. Draw the best you can, friend. I just did the best I could. I know it doesn't look like a frog, but this is the best that I could. So whatever you draw, it says the frog is a frog. Okay? Oh. I gotta draw some eyes. Hold on. Maybe I get a darker color green for the eyes. Kind of crazy frog, right? So I'm gonna have him sitting on a. Let me draw a body of water, because he has to be near some water, right? La, 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 la. Body of water. Okay, and maybe he's on a. This is a reed. A reed is like a green plant. I need another green. Maybe I can make this. Let's see what I have in here. Ah, I'll use this. As for a green plant. Okay. So that's my frog. It's like, I don't know. I tried. That's all you gotta do, friends. Just try. Okay? So let's go over the habitat of my amphibian that I chose. I chose, what does my animal look like? And I said, just pick any feature from the animal. You could pick the sticky tongue. If you don't want to pick frogs, you can pick a Sicilian, how they burrow into the ground, or a salamander, how he eats insects, whatever you want. I chose a frog. So since I like a sticky tongue, you think I should make a sticky tongue? Yeah. Let me do that. Hold on. I'm going to make a sticky tongue. That's a sticky tongue. Maybe I should put a fly in it. Yeah. I think I'm going to put a fly in it. Oh, hold on. I'm going to put a fly in it. Okay? A fly. Then you pick the habitat, which is the freshwater wetland, because amphibians need to be near bodies of water. And we know in the desert, no bodies of water. In the grassland, not very many bodies of water either. So wetland was our answer. And then down here you draw your animal and its habitat. It's a great activity to do with the help of your parent or older brother or sister. They can help you read the directions and write the words for you, but you can do all the drawing yourself. It was fun. So today's book we're going to read is, since I like frogs, is Growing Frogs. It's a great book about the life cycle of the frog. Also, don't forget to look into your remote learning plan and watch videos. Also, click on the Epic Book links in the Epic Book account and the Scholastic Bookflix account. Also, log into your Happy Numbers math accounts and work on some math activities. But stick around, friends, and learn all about growing frogs. Hi, friends. Today's book is called Growing Frogs by Vivian French, illustrated by Allison Bartlett. It's about the life cycle of the frog, and it's about one little girl's experience about raising frogs. It should be a really interesting book. Let's open the book and find out. Okay, she doesn't have a title page. She has like some frog information. It says, frogs are endangered. Please help. Rules for frog lovers. Don't ever take frog spawn from a pond in the wild. You should only take frog spawn from a man-made pond. Okay, always take your frog back to the pond and let them go. So I guess this is a book if you want to raise frogs. Not this girl. There's the title page. Okay, not only do we have a title page, we have a dedication page for Jake Slade. This is from the author, VF. For Rebecca, with much love. This is from the illustrator. Okay, we haven't seen a dedication page in a while, friends. Oh, look at this great picture. Look at the illustrations. Once when I was little, my mom read me a story about a frog that grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Look at this page. Afterward, Mom asked me if I like to watch some real frogs growing. I know where there's a pond with lots of frog eggs in it, she said. We could bring some home. I was frightened. I don't want any frogs jumping around, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I said. But Mom gave me a hug. It's only a story, she said. Even when our frogs are grown up, they'll still be smaller than my hand. Oh, I said, okay. So she's going to go and get some frog spawn, which is like baby, which are eggs. The next day, we went to look at the pond. The water was dark brown and there was gray jelly stuff floating on the top. Yuck, I said. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't even see the picture of her say yuck. There's the frog spawn, said Mom. And she pointed to the gray jelly stuff. I bet that was laid last Friday night. The frogs were croaking so loudly I couldn't get to sleep. You see the black dot in the middle of each jelly shell, said Mom. That's going to grow into a tadpole. Where are the frogs? I asked. Tadpoles grow into frogs, she said. Little ones, not giant frogs here. So this is the first stage of the frog, tadpoles. Remember? We learned about tadpoles, friends. Mom put some pondweed and some stones into a bag. She filled the bucket with pond water. Then I scooped a little of the frog spawn into it. Okay? Can you see, friends? Okay. When we got home, we put everything into a big fish tank in the kitchen. The cat kept peering at it, so we had to put a wire net over the top. Yeah, sometimes kitties are too nosy for their own good. I counted 27 little black dots. Each dot was inside its own jelly shell. Now, we learned that amphibians' eggs are not hard like chicken eggs or other mammals who lay eggs, right? I'm sorry, not mammals, reptiles. Well, mammals do lay eggs because we have the duck-billed platypus, right? So their eggs are like jelly shaped. Jelly. Every day when I woke up, I went straight downstairs to look at the frog spawn. Okay, so let's look at the cycle. The little dots grew into bigger dots. In a tank, eggs hatch into tadpoles about 10 days after they are laid. And then into tiny curls. You see the tiny curls? And one morning I saw the first tadpole wriggling out of its jelly shell. At first, the tadpole didn't do much. They just stayed close to their jelly shells and nibbled at the pondweed. But after 2 or 3 days, they looked quite different. There were feathery things on their heads, and I could see their eyes. They swam very fast. Now, the feathery things on their heads are gills, friends. They're gills, and that's what they use to breathe with underwater. Okay. 10 of the eggs didn't hatch. That was so sad. Okay, Mom had to take them away. All right. Look at this. Hold on, let me show you a picture of this. Then we cleaned out the tank and put in fresh pond weed and pond water. One of the tadpoles swam into my hand when I was putting a stone back. It was slippery and slithery, and it made me jump. It would make me jump too, friends. After a while, I got used to having tadpoles, and I didn't look at them so often. When Mom told me their little feathery things had disappeared, I didn't believe her, but it was true. Now, tadpoles have gills on the outside of their bodies at first. Then they grow little. Then they grow gills inside their bodies, and then outside ones disappear. So remember they had the feathery things. That was the gills. Then those drop off. Then the gills grow on the inside. I I was the one who saw the next change though. Look! I shouted, and Mom rushed to see some of the tadpoles had grown two little bumps. Mom said the bumps will grow into legs. So now they're beginning to look a little more like, not tadpoles anymore, beginning to look like froglets. They grew quickly. One day there were two little bumps. The next day there were bumps where the bumps were stumps. The day after that they looked almost like a real frog. And when the feet unfold, they were webbed, but like tiny brownish greenish frogs. They aren't tadpoles anymore. I said, they're not quite frogs. Now this stage is sometimes called froglet. The not quite frogs grew front legs next, and then their tails got shorter, and then mouths grew wider. Now they're frogs, Mom said, baby ones. Soon the baby frogs were popping up and gulping at the surface of the water. One of them tried to climb onto the stones, but it slid off. Mom said they were getting ready to leave their water. Grown-up frogs breathe air, she said. That's what the stones are for, so our frogs can climb out of the water and breathe. When they climb out the water, their gills disappear and they develop lungs, friends. Not long after that, Mom said it was time to take our baby frogs back to live in the pond with all the other baby frogs. I was sorry to leave them, but Mom said we could come back and visit every day. One rainy morning a week later, Mom woke me up very early. Hurry, she said. We ran downstairs and out to the pond. There were hundreds of tiny frogs hopping over the grass. They were looking for dark, wet places to live, Mom said, but they won't go far. And in a couple of years, they'll be back to lay frog spawn of their own. Will they be bigger then? I asked. Just a little, said Mom. Good, I said. I like having frogs jumping around, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, remember, for instance, I said sometimes a book can make you think of a book-to-self connection. This makes me think of a book-to-self connection. One time when I was in college, in graduate school, I went to visit a friend out. He lived way out in the country, and he lived in a trailer near a pond. And me and this other friend went out there to visit him. And it was raining and raining. We stayed there until the rain stopped. And when we opened the trailer door, there was like hundreds of frogs across the path, separating the trailer to the car. And I'm screaming because I've seen frogs, but not hundreds and hundreds of little tiny frogs all over a path like this, right? And I'm like, we can't get to the car. What are we gonna do? And my friends are looking at me like, girl, just walk. There's just little frogs. I screamed. I couldn't do it. My friend had to carry me on his back. Carry me on his back to the car because I was screaming so loud. That was not a proud moment in my life, but I wonder how would you react if you saw hundreds of little frogs on a path. Okay, man, I kind of freaked out, but I've grown a lot since then, and now if I see hundreds of little frogs, I would not scream as much. I hope. And that's the end of the story, friends. This book was very informative, right? We learned the life cycle of the frog. There are great activities in the remote learning plan and great frog videos. Don't forget, there's also websites you can look at to play games. All right? I promise. Well, I take it back. I'm going to say this every time I read a book. Don't forget to log into your Epic Book Epic Book account to look at books about frogs. Also, look at your Scholastic Bookflix account about books about frogs. And log into your Happy Numbers account and do some math activities. I hope you enjoyed this book, Growing Frogs.